Hello dear students and welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to start our first lecture in syntax course. Our lecture today will be about an introduction to syntax. In this lecture, we are going to cover some different topics. The first one, etymology of syntax, history of syntax, what is syntax. We'll get also some example of syntax, grammatical analysis, grammatical terms, abbreviations, forms of grammatical structures, and sentence analysis example. Let's start first with etymology of syntax. When we say etymology, we mean from where we get the word. So we need to know more about the study of what? Of origin of the word syntax. The word syntax comes originally from Greek language. So it's Greek word. In Greek language, we'll find the word in two parts, okay? The first is syn and the second is taxes. Syn means together, and taxes means an ordering. So literally, it means a putting together or arrangement. So what about history of syntax? In the 19th century, with the development of historical comparative linguistics, linguists began to realize the huge diversity of human language. They also questioned assumptions about the relationship between language and logic. It became apparent that there was no such thing as the most natural way to express a thought, and therefore logic could no longer be relied upon as basis for studying the structure of language. And syntactic categories were identified with logical models in the past, and all sentences were analyzed in terms of subject, copula, predicate. When we say copula, it is a connecting word, in particular a form of the verb to be, connecting a subject and complement. And I think you know the verb to be. What do we mean with verb to be? Here we have am, is, and are. Okay, this is the base form of the verb to be. Okay, and we know that they come before complements. The main role of syntax within theoretical linguistics became clear only in the 20th century, which could reasonably be called the century of syntactic theory in linguistics field. So the 20th century is the century of the appearance of syntax. Now let's move to the point of definition. What is syntax? What do we mean with syntax? Syntax is the study of the structure and ordering of components within a sentence in a language, and It is a branch of linguistics. It is also cover the grammatical structure of sentences. The format in which words and phrases are arranged to create sentences is also called syntax. So here we can say syntax study the area of what? The structure of the sentence and how the components of the sentence are ordered. And here we mean with components the parts of speech or word classes, and also the phrases and clauses, okay, which used to make a sentence. So this is about components. Examples of syntax in a sentence. Okay, here let's look at an example of how a sentence can be rearranged to create varied syntax. Here we have this word. The girl laughed. Okay, the girl laughed loudly. Okay, when you say the girl laughed loudly, here we mean something, okay, and we think of laughing, the point of laughing, okay. So we think of the girl laughed loudly. Here we have three components or three main components, okay, in case we think of phrases, okay. In case we think of phrases, we have the girl, and the girl is noun phrase. Then we'll find verb phrase, which include laugh and some adverb. So according to the point, okay, that we are talking about, okay, as the structure and order, okay, the structure we have subject, verb, and adverb. Okay, we can think of this word as subject. Okay, we have these two words, the and girl are an article, and noun, they work as a subject. And then we have what? Laughed. Laughed is a verb. Okay, and the last item that we have here is what? It's loudly, and loudly is an adverb. Okay, so here we can say it's an adverb. Okay, so what about the next point? Okay, here we can say in the second example, we have the same content, but in different order. The girl loudly laughed. Okay, so let's think of what? Of loudly. Okay, we have the form, okay, or the same word, okay, which is used in the previous example, which is loudly. It will, you know, okay, or you can know that the adverb takes some other order. It comes after the subject. Okay, and we can think also of what? Of the third example, which include the same contents, okay, but with some other order. Okay, it include the word loudly in the first position. Okay, so we'll find loudly in the first position, okay, of the sentence. So here we have three different orders, okay, for the sentence but we have what? The same content. Okay, we use the same content. Okay, so here we can note loudly in this thought. Okay, so here loudly, okay, change its position. Okay, first we found it at the end of the sentence after the verb, and here in the second sentence we found it between the subject and the verb, and in the last or the third example we found it, yes, in the first position. Okay, in the beginning of, or at the beginning of what? Of the sentence. Okay, so that means in syntax we can think of what? Some different structures and orders for the same contents. Okay, so here we should erase first. Okay, let's erase. Yes, before we start the new page. Good. So this is about the first point, okay, which connected with the definition of syntax. It is a study of what? Of ordering and structure of component, okay, in a sentence, or even study of structure of the sentence, okay, and also how are the components, okay, ordered, okay, in the sentence. Okay, so what about the next? Here we have the grammatical analysis. In order to think of analysis, it's very important to think of a grammar term. Okay, what do we mean with grammar? Grammar can be defined as the process of describing describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way that we account for all the grammatical sequences in a language and roll out all the ungrammatical sequences. Okay. So here we think of some points, okay, that should be explained also. The first one include what? The description of grammar. Okay, so it describes grammar as what? As process. So when we say it's a process, okay, that means we have some type of steps that we should follow in order to achieve, yes, something, okay, in grammar. So we can say it's a process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences. Okay, so how, in which way? Okay, he said that in a way that we account for all the grammatical sequences in a language and also rule out all the ungrammatical sequences. And we can say all language has different ways of forming grammatical phrases and sentences. Okay, here we have some example. Okay, when you think of English language, you know that in English, we should start with subject, then it's followed with verb, and then object. But in Arabic, we have something different. We have first a verb, and then the verb is followed with a subject and then we'll find the object. Okay, so that means language have different ways, okay, in forming the grammatical phrases and sentences. So what about the methods that followed to analyze sentences? Here we have constituent analysis. It's one of the methods that using grammar to analyze constituents. When we say constituents, we mean what? The components, okay? The small components, okay, of the sentence, okay? We mean parts of speech, phrases, clauses, and even sentences. So think of all of these things, okay, or all of these units, okay, are analyzed, okay, by this process. So what do we mean with constituent analysis? We can say constituent analysis is the technique, okay. When you say a technique, okay, that means it's a method, okay, which is designed to show how small constituents in sentences go together in order to form larger constituents. So here, when we say constituent analysis, we are talking about what? Technique, which is designed to show how small constituents or components in sentences go together to form larger constituents. That means how words work together in order to form larger constituent as phrase. How to build phrase out of words, and how to build a complete sentence out of what? Group of phrases. So here we have some type of example. We have different words, group or set of words, which are combined in some way. Some of them has the same function, okay? So they are colored in the same color. For example, here when we say noun phrases, you will find them here, okay, colored in red, okay? So the first group, okay, which colored in red, here we can call it as what? Noun phrase. And inside the noun phrase, we'll find some other components. First, here we'll find an and the articles. Then we'll find what? The adjective old. And the last will be what? The noun itself. Yes, man, woman, Sarah, and I as pronoun, okay? You remember that the pronouns replace nouns, okay? So this is its main function, okay? They use instead of nouns. So here we can call them even as what? We can call them also as what? As noun phrases. When we talk about pronouns, we can say also they can be used as noun phrases. So for this reason, this group, okay, is colored in red. Then we'll find the verbs, which colored in green, okay, as constituent, okay, they are colored here in green, okay. And the third group, okay, which included here is also noun phrase, It includes the article a, okay, then the adjective large, okay, and the noun. So together, as you see, the article or determiner and the adjective plus what? Plus noun will make a noun phrase, as you see. So here, this red words, okay, or the words which written in red, okay, compose what? Or make what? Make noun phrases. The last group, which start in prepositions, okay, and it's colored as what? As blue. We call this group as what? As the components of prepositional phrases. When we say prepositional phrases, we think of some form in which we'll find a preposition plus noun phrase. So we'll find to the wedding. So to plus noun phrase. In a cage. Yeah, so we think of preposition plus noun phrase with her. And her is pronoun and the pronoun replaces noun. Okay, so we think of with her as what? Some other prepositional phrase. And the last one here is recently. And recently is adverb. So why do we link them in the same color as one group? Here we can say the function of prepositional phrases in English is what? Is adverbial. So we think of them functions similarly to the adverb. Okay, so we'll find what prepositional phrases which used to tell about place or even time are used as adverbial. So for this reason, we connect them together here in the same color. Okay, so we have some similar constituents as you see. Okay, noun phrases with the same components, with the same function. The noun phrase can be used as subject before noun or object after noun. Okay, and the prepositional phrases, we found them here or see them at the end. When you say to the wedding, that means to where, to the place, to some place. Okay, in the cage, where also, so it answers the same questions. So in case the prepositional phrase answers the question of when, of or where, that means they are accepted as what? Adverbials. So you will learn more about this point, okay, later, inshallah, in our course. Okay, we have some other method of analysis or grammatical analysis. It's known as what? Labeled and bracketed analysis. And this technique is designed to show how the constituents in sentence structure can be marked off by using labeled brackets. So you would think of it also as a technique similarly as the constituent analysis, okay? And it is designed to show how constituents in sentence structure can be marked off by using labeled brackets, okay? That means here we have two things we should think of in this way or method of analysis: labels or labels, and also brackets. So we need to know more about them. Okay, so we have some type of description for what? For the way of analysis. Here, when we find a sentence, the first step is to put brackets. Okay, one on each side to enclose around each constituent. For example, when we find noun, we'll use brackets to enclose it. Okay, and we have, let's say, verb, we should enclose it with what? With some other bracket. Okay, and even for the noun, in case there is some other noun or noun phrase after. Yes, okay. And then more brackets around combination of constituents. When you say combination of constituents, we mean even phrases, not just nouns and verbs, not just words or parts of speech, but even the phrases should be bracketed. So we should use brackets to enclose them. And then at the end, we should use bracket even to enclose what? The sentence itself. Okay. Before we take an example that explains labeled and bracketed analysis, it is very important to think of the labels, the forms of labels that used here. You will find what? Some grammatical terms, abbreviations, or abbreviations of grammatical terms that used. So first we'll find what? ART or art for article, okay? And det or DET for determiner. And here, just to remind you with them, article include definite and indefinite articles and okay, as indefinite and the as definite article. Determiners, it includes some different types, okay, of words. Include even article. Article can be described as determiner. Also, it includes what? Demonstrators, okay, as this and that or these and those. Determiners also include what? Enumerators. And we have two types. Okay, enumerators connected with number. Okay, it means numbers. Okay, we think of cardinals and ordinals. Okay, so cardinals means 1, 2, 3. We can say 1 student, 2 students, 3 students. And ordinal means take order. First, second, third. The first student was Ahmed. Okay. So here we have article and determiners, and we have some other types of determiners. But just to add something here, articles and determiners are described or are known as what? A type of adjectives, because they describe noun, they add more thing, yes, to the noun. Then we find some other label, some other abbreviation, N for noun, pron or P-R-O-N for pronoun, ADG, adj, for adjective, the label V for verb, adv for adverb, prep for preposition, conj for conjunction, NP for noun phrase, VP for verb phrase, and PP for prepositional phrase, and the last is, or the last label is S for what? For the sentence. Okay. Okay. So these are the labels, okay, that are used. Okay. We need to know them before using them in brackets. Now we should think of what? Forms of grammatical structures. The first form that we will cover is sentence structure. The sentence may include what? A noun phrase plus verb phrase. And we will know more about noun phrase contents. The contents of noun phrase and verb phrase. We are going to talk about them, okay, later in this lecture. Okay. So sentence include noun phrase and verb phrase. Good. The second structure is noun phrase structure. Okay, noun phrase structure. Okay, we have some different noun phrase structures. Okay, we have about 6 noun phrase structures. The first one is proper noun. So the structure of the noun phrase can include a proper noun. When you say proper noun, here we mean a name of person, okay? Ahmed, Ali, Omar, okay? Or even Muna, Sarah, Samia, okay? Or even name or specific name for what? For some place, as Libya, Gulf of Sidra, Bin Jawad. Okay. The second structure of the noun phrase is what? Is determiner plus noun. We said determiner means maybe article, maybe enumerator, maybe demonstrator, this, that, okay, or some other. So this is the second structure. Can be, for example, the man, the plus man. A boy, a plus boy. A is determiner and boy is noun. The third one, or the third structure of noun phrase, include determiner plus adjective or adjectives, okay, one or more adjective plus noun. So, for example, in case one adjective, the brown fox. Brown fox. The brown fox. That is determiner. Brown is adjective and fox is what? Noun. In case we want to use more than one, okay, adjectives, we can say the quick brown fox. The quick brown fox. So here we have 2 adjectives. We have determiner, the, and 2 adjectives. Brown, or sorry, quick and brown are adjectives, 2 adjectives, and then we use the noun. So this is the third structure of noun phrase. The fourth structure of noun phrase include plural noun. Plural noun. The plural noun includes what? A form of plural, okay? Cats is noun phrase. Dogs, noun phrase. Men, women, okay? Also, noun phrase. They are plural nouns and they are used as what? As noun phrase or noun phrases. The fifth structure of noun phrase includes what? Adjective, one adjective or more, or adjectives plus plural noun. As when we say beautiful houses. Beautiful houses. Or beautiful big houses. Beautiful big houses. Here we use 2 adjectives. Okay? Plus noun. The last form include noun plus prepositional phrase. When we say man of the match, man of the match, okay, man is a noun, and of the match is what? Is prepositional phrase. So we have man is noun and prepositional phrase is what? The prepositional phrase is of the match. Okay, so these are the 6 structures of noun phrases. The next structure is verb phrase structure. Here also we have some different structures. The verb phrase structures are verb, or even only one verb, as when we say Ali went. Ali went. Went is the past of go, okay? Went. Use it alone and it make what? Went alone is what? Verb phrase. Verb plus noun phrase is the second structure of the verb phrase. As when we say she took the bag. She took the bag. Took the bag is verb. Took is a verb and the bag is noun phrase. So it's the second structure of the verb phrase. Verb plus adverb is the third structure of the verb phrase. As when we say she runs, she runs quickly. She runs quickly. Quickly here is an adverb. It's used with runs. And run is a verb. So run plus adverb, run plus quickly, okay, will make what? Verb phrase. So we think of verb phrase which includes runs plus quickly. Verb plus adjective. Okay. So when we say it's big, it is big. When we say is big here, we think of is as a verb and big as an adjective. Also, we think of it as verb phrase. It's used as complement, okay? It has some function, okay? We think of it as complement. The last or the fifth verb phrase structure includes verb plus prepositional phrase. Verb plus prepositional phrase. For example, she traveled to London. She traveled to London. Here we think of traveled is a verb and to London is what? Prepositional phrase. Okay? Good. We have also some other structure which is also important, which has some function as adverbial, if you remember. Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay. Prepositional phrase structures. Here we have only one structure. Okay, for the prepositional phrase, we use preposition plus noun phrase. Preposition plus noun phrase. So we'll find only the preposition in or an, or sorry, in or at or on or even some other of, okay, plus what? Plus noun phrase. When you say on the table, on the table, on is a preposition, the table is a noun phrase. The table, the is determiner and what? Table is noun, and the table is what? Noun phrase. So here we have also prepositional phrase, okay, this form. Good. The last point is the point of studying some example to the labeled and bracketed analysis. Okay, so remember, this is the second grammatical method of analysis. We talk about the first one and we said it's what? Constituent analysis, and we took some example to it. And here we have what? The bracketed and labeled, or labeled and bracketed sentences. We cover the abbreviation in order to think of labels, and then we talk about brackets. Okay, so we should use the square brackets, as you see. And here we have the example. The girl loved the cat. The girl loved the cat. Okay. So here first, as you see, the smallest components, the smallest constituents, okay, or even the smallest units of the sentence, which are known as words, here are enclosed separately. As you see, the is enclosed with some square brackets, and girl also have some brackets around it, and even loved and the cat. Okay, so that tell each one of these components that it has what? Some name. So it is the smallest unit. So let's see. The is determiner or an article. Okay. Girl is noun or is a noun. And loved is verb. The is an article. And also cat is a noun. So think of what? Some similar combinations here, some similar forms. Article plus noun before the verb, and article plus noun after the verb. Okay, so this is the first step, to make brackets around the words, and then to tell above the bracket, okay, or the left bracket, the label, okay, to mention the label of each one of the words, okay, the smallest unit, as we said. Then we should think of what? Larger unit, okay. So what is the larger unit, okay, than word? Here we'll find what? The phrase. When we find word plus word equal phrase. So article plus noun equal noun phrase, and here we have two noun phrases. The girl is a noun phrase, and it encloses with some other or larger what? Brackets. And even the cat, the article and noun, also enclosed with what? Some other brackets. And also we'll find the label above, okay, NP, noun phrase. Then we should think of the next. Is there any verb phrase? So let's see. Yes, we have the verb phrase, which include what? Loved plus the noun phrase. The verb loved plus noun phrase, we'll study that. Verb plus noun phrase equal verb phrase. So here we have verb phrase, which made in blue. Okay, as you see, okay, we have blue brackets, and we wrote what above? Verb phrase. Good. The largest, now the largest unit is what? Is the sentence. Okay, so that's what we mean with what? Analysis. We wrote it in green, okay? Or sorry, we color it as in green, okay? We make the brackets in green because it is the largest one, okay? It's not a rule, but we did it, okay, to clarify the point, okay? Make it easy to understand it, okay? So here the largest unit in this sentence is what? is the subject, is the sentence, and then we'll find noun phrase and verb phrase, okay? And inside the verb phrase, we'll find verb plus noun phrase, and inside the noun phrase, okay, we'll find article plus noun, and inside the other noun phrase, we'll find also article plus noun. So this is known as what? Labeled and bracketed what? Analysis. Okay. So this point is very important, okay, and I think it's very important even to think of the components. Which one of them is the largest? Is the what? Is this the sentence? The sentence is the largest components. Okay. So you will find what? The sentence is the largest components. It includes, yes, the sentence or all these units. Some smaller component is what? Is the noun phrase and the verb phrase. They are smaller than what? Sentence. And in the verb phrase, we'll find what? Some other smaller, yes, component, which is what? The noun phrase. And inside the noun phrase, we'll find what? Article and noun. And inside the verb phrase, okay, sorry, here we talk about what? Some other component, which is what? Which is verb and what? And noun phrase, as you see. Yes. Verb and noun. Okay. Noun phrase, as you see here in this example. Okay. So this is the verb, okay, and this is the noun phrase. And inside the other noun phrase, we'll find what? We'll find some other component, which is what? Which is article, okay. So here we think of it in this way: article and noun, okay, are used as what? Small. So if I ask you a question in this sentence, what is the largest unit, the largest grammatical unit? You should say it is a sentence. What is the smallest grammatical unit? You should say it is a word, which can be article, noun, verb, okay, or some other thing. So what is larger than word? You can say the phrase. We have noun phrase, okay, and we can say verb phrase is larger than noun phrase. What is the largest? Okay, here you will say the sentence. Okay, that's all about our lecture today as an introduction to syntax, and we'll stop here and see you inshallah next week inshallah in some new lecture. Okay, goodbye and see you soon inshallah.